Next up, we have the Classic Sports Saloons heading out on track as the sun continues to shine, and it is Tommy Gilmartin on pole position in the lovely 77 Morgan. Let's see if he can turn that into a win. Richard, I'll hand it to you.
Tommy on pole, then Harry Simpson alongside those two renewing battle, and then Raymond Boyd and Andrew Graham on row 2. John Kinmond and Jimmy Crowe on the third row. Then it's Ian Daltrey and Andy Walker. Grant Allen on row 5 with Bruce Mitchell on the outside. So the classic section of the Hour of Power about to get underway. Tommy Gilmartin makes a wonderful start from pole position, and yes, you're right, we've got a 3.5 litre Rover joining the ranks. John Kinmond in the Rover 3.5, absolutely wonderful to see, adding further variety to this championship. Grant Allen down towards the back, and we've got on-car footage from John Kinmond chasing the championship leader. Jimmy Crowe in the Escort, the championship leader, 14 points clear at the moment of Raymond Boyd in the blue Porsche. Rover passes Escort, now about to challenge the Triumph TR8 of Andrew Graham. Andrew, one of the ever-presents this year in the championship. Ray Boyd, Grant Allen, Harry Simpson, Jimmy Crowe and Ian Daltrey have done all of the rounds, which is absolutely wonderful support from those guys. And of course the other drivers that we've seen over the course of the season dip in and out as the fancy and the availability and mechanical availability of the cars may well dictate. But wonderful to see that Rover joining the grid. And Jimmy Crowe, as I say, immediately in front, the man that leads the championship. Jimmy has only had competition in Class C from Max Horn this year. Max not racing in the Cortina, sadly, this weekend. The Cortina, of course, an older car than the Mark 1 Escort. And sadly not here. But as you can see here, Triumph, Ford and Rover. The Rover gets wound up and the Triple X liveried car goes past Jimmy Crowe. Let's hope that we see John Kinmond out again in this car. Might remember John racing in a TR8. He's putting a little bit of pressure on Andrew Graham, but the back end wants to come around on the grass. Oh dear, please don't damage the car. Trying to get it back on circuit. Oh, here's a replay. John gets on the gas coming out of the... Was there a tag on the back end? Tried all his very best to avoid the car. Coming out of the hep, he put the power down a little bit too early. Has recovered. And as you can see, Ian Daltrey is chasing. We've got Andy Walker in the Mallock, the number 10 there as well, running in Class G. So Harry Simpson's got some competition in Class G this weekend. Andy Walker's first outing of the season, 1600cc Mallock. There is the blue Porsche 911 of Raymond Boyd. The former champion has taken 4 class wins out of 4 starts so far this year. Jimmy Crowe also unbeaten in class this year, and trying to close up on Andrew Graham, who's had 3 third places in class, 1 second position in race number 1. Andrew comes from Livingston and enjoying his race, but out front it's Tommy Gilmartin and Harry Simpson. These two have been pretty evenly matched over the course of the season at varying events, and the little Ginetta G4R trying to close in on the Morgan. Remember the Ginetta 1851cc, the Morgan 3.9 litres, so different characteristics on different parts of the circuit. And Tommy Gilmartin is the man who leads this one at the moment, looking for his second outright win of the season. Harry Simpson looking for his 4th win of the year, having taken both outright wins the first weekend in April. A second position to Gilmartin in our race earlier on in the month, and giving a very good account of itself once again. So Morgan versus Ginetta, and Gilmartin holds on to it. Look though at the Ginetta, a very wide line into the hairpin, may well go for the cutback, but we can expect the Morgan to just use those extra horses up the hill and pull away from the Ginetta, and that's indeed the case as to what happens. Well, Harry Simpson will just have to make the best of the twists and turns of the chicane and the run down in towards the hairpin, maybe into Scott, closes up down into Scotsman corner, and now coming up in towards the chicane. You can see really closing in here. Is he going to be able to nip past? I don't think he is, so Tommy Gilmartin will hold on. Simpson with the best lap of the race on lap 2, 58.365 seconds, averaging very nearly 80 miles an hour. Best lap from Tommy Gilmartin was lap 3, 58.6, 77.7 miles per hour. So these two trading fastest laps over the course of the race. The back end of the Morgan wants to flick out. They're going up the hill. We've got Andy Walker in front of them. Is going to be the first back marker that they'll encounter in the Mallock, running second position in class. There is the Triumph TR8 of Andrew Graham Andrew Graham, with John Kinmond hoping to try and close him down, but ultimately Jimmy Crowe there in the escort, and Jimmy Crowe on his way to another class win. Got a very good 14-point championship lead here. Tommy Gilmartin will, I think, take the class championship lead here, because we haven't got Alex Montgomery. So we're on board with John Kinmond again in the Rover and closing down. If he can get past Jimmy Crowe, he'll secure 5th place on the road. Back end of the escort gloriously going out. So Jimmy Crowe coming under a bit of pressure, and the Triplex Rover taking a wide line here. This is all going to be about momentum out of Clark and onto the railway straight to maybe make the pass on the way into the hairpin. Pops his nose up the inside, uses the extra grunt. Great run out of Clark's, and the Rover goes through. Jimmy Crowe is looking to try and get the position back, locks up. Fine piece of racing between the two. Crowe drifting out of the corner, but the Rover, I think, has managed to complete the move and start to pull away. John Kinmond running in Class D, so effectively 2 classes above Jimmy Crowe. Still the battle for the lead rages on. We've got Ian Daltrey in behind. Ian Daltrey, the lone Class A runner. Ian leads Class A in the championship, joint 6 in the championship with Harry Simpson, who has got the lead away. He's done it. Harry Simpson's got the lead away from Tommy Gilmartin, but Tommy's going to fight back now as they go on to the last lap. Gilmartin does indeed get the nose of the Morgan back in front. A splendid motor race here between these two. It's the Class E car leading the Class G machine, but we've seen the proof that Harry Simpson is, even today, equal to the Morgan that hangs on again. Tommy Gilmartin, this is a dogged race by the pair of them, and a good, clean, fair race as well by the pair of them. We'll see what Harry Simpson can do. Always look forward to the Harry Simpson interviews as well. What a character he is, and what a driver as well. This has been a great race between the pair of them, both leading their respective classes, but it's the honour of the overall win that counts, and Simpson takes that wide line into the hairpin. Is he going to be able to slot up the inside of the Morgan again? He's having a go. It's the run to the flag. The Morgan surely is going to take it. The checkered flag is ready. Gilmartin does indeed take another win. Harry Simpson second on the road, but a fine class win in Class G in the Ginetta. Here's Ian Daltrey, the Class A winner, 7th overall. Grant Allen is next up. He's second in Class D behind Raymond, but there's Raymond Boyd, the winner of Class D, and Raymond completes our podium here today. Class E, second position goes to Andrew Graham. He's 4th overall from John Kinmond in the Class E Rover. Some fine entertainment for him. Jimmy Crowe wins Class B. We mentioned Ian Daltrey and Grant Allen.
Harry Simpson, second place. You don't look too chuffed with it. You're never overly delighted with a second, because I know you're quick enough to win.
The car's absolutely fantastic, Joe. Keep on telling people that all the time, you know, and really, the car's quick, but wee Tommy that's sitting down there having a wee rest because he's tired. He's only a wee man, so he's having a wee rest at the moment for the second race. His car's still got the legs on me, just a wee touch, you know.
You had to go at the hairpin, but it was a wee bit too soon.
Yeah, I was maybe just a wee bit too anxious to show my hand, and once Tommy knew that that's where I'm going to make my move, he was ready for me. But you know, we had a good race, and hopefully the people here enjoyed it as well. I know that is quite not a lot of cars racing today. I don't know what the situation is, why they're not coming out. Maybe it's holiday times or something, I just don't know.
Maybe it's because you boys at the front are too quick.
Well, it's up to them to catch us. It's not up to us to slow down for them.
I don't know if Tommy's going to make the next race. Look at him.
Well, he's all sway. But as I say, you know, I don't think we're not engaged.
Let's get you in here, Tommy. We'll get you in as well as our race winner. Tommy, it's always you two. It's turned into the two-horse race here between you and Harry. Two totally different machines as well. He's stronger, I would say, through the corners. He's got a little bit more speed through the corners, but up the straights you've got a little bit as well.
It's quite incredible, actually, when you see the two cars. You look at them; they look nothing like each other. My car is 3.9. Harry's is 1.8. Weight difference must be phenomenal as well, but when you see the lap times of these two cars, you know, we're splitting hairs between them, and you're correct. I mean, Harry's car is very nimble, very quick, and quick through the corners. The Morgan's a bit clumsy through the corners, and that's where Harry gets me. And I actually thought he had got me out the hairpin, because if he'd got that jump and me coming up the hill, I couldn't see me making it back again. But however, we managed just to get enough to get back in front and no more. But I mean, if you get any closer racing than that, then I really don't know what it is, because I'm tired after that, let me tell you.
It's good to see, because these things aren't cheap, but it's nice to see that you're not scared of them. You're racing them like they're meant to be raced. You're racing them like XR2s.
Well, at least they come back in better shape than the XR2s, you know.
We're racing the cars to their full potential. You know, I drive that car flat out. I couldn't squeeze any more out of it, and I know Harry couldn't either. And is that not what you're meant to do when you race, you know?
Absolutely, it's good to see, because sometimes with the classics you see a parade, but we don't see that with you boys.
No, we're trying very hard out there, Joe, and I'm sure if you had a classic car, you'd be out there just trying as hard as you would if you were driving your Formula 4s, you know, ex-Formula 4 champion. Remember that time in the restaurant, Joe, there was that Ian Forrest introduced you as a 2005 Scottish Formula 4 Championship, and he looked, he said, I haven't won it yet, but he won it the previous year.
Yeah, that was me. Thanks for that plug, Harry. Well done, guys.
Thank you. Thanks.